Hi folks, I'm Decklists and welcome to the Artificers Guild, the home of all things Artifact. The NDA for Artifact is over. Everything is fair game to talk about, and the beta is right around the corner. It's finally happening. With the NDA now officially over, I can break down the floodgates at long last. I've been holding back on you folks for far too long now. As a decent number of you have guessed at over these past weeks, I have had access to the Artifact beta. Not for 6 to 7 months like many others, but for a month or so now. In fact, you can track it to the exact video if you pay close attention. The Lich Hero preview was the last video in which I made a single mistake about the way something worked. And that was no coincidence, as that is when I got my beta access. And from there on, I was able to test absolutely everything I was remotely unsure of to make sure you guys got the best information possible. I can't thank Valve enough for the opportunity to play in the beta in order to improve my content and help all of you guys learn about Artifact. Without that opportunity, there is no doubt I would have struggled during this NDA drop, but thankfully I've been able to stockpile my ideas and information ready to swarm you guys with. So keep an eye on the channel between now and the launch date of the 28th, as we have plenty of new stuff coming your way. In fact, let's start with some new information. How about some quickfire tips for those of you about to join the beta? Firstly, swallow your pride. Play against some bots. I played against bots when I first joined until I could beat the harder bots with no problems. Then I jumped into some queues, and I still got schooled in my first few games by players like Hyped and Fwoosh. But by the end of the week, even a scrub like me was able to take one singular game off Hyped, the king of the beta draft scene. My other top tip for people just starting in the beta is to set some keybinds. You will need to swap lanes and zoom in and out of the board constantly in a game, so make it easier for yourself. Personally, I've set board swaps to A and D, left and right, and going in and out, zooming in and out to W, so I can move forwards, and I guess moving backwards isn't quite as obvious, but it works for me as those are the keybinds I use for basically everything, including Dota, which for those of you that play, is incredibly weird to move the camera with WASD. Anyway, getting sidetracked. For those of you not joining the beta, don't fear, as I've been working very closely with the team over at artcraft.io, to make sure their systems perfectly reflect what's going on in the game itself. So you guys can go over there and practice your drafting skills and set up your constructed decks ready to hit the center stage when the game is released. Links, as always, are in the description for that site. They've also just worked on a better way to import and export decks between the game and their site. So I'll go and upload my best constructed decks to their site for you to go and look at right now. Links for those below as well. All of that is just the tip of the iceberg though. Before the 28th, I'll be dropping an Artifact survival guide, which will be the definitive way to make it through launch without going insane. Chock full of tips, analysis, event info, and card costs to make sure you get the most out of your first foray into Artifact. If there's anything you guys think you desperately need to know about the launch period, ask your questions in the comments below, and I'll see if I can either answer them here for you, or maybe I will even cover them in the video itself. So with all of that happening, you might ask as to what one might expect as content from the channel now. We are in the beta, so does that change the content path that we've been on so far? Well, not exactly. I wouldn't say our content is changing. We still want to be the quote-unquote home of all things Artifact, bringing you guys the newest news, toppest tips, and I've ran out of alliterations, but you get the idea. We are still going to be a community-centric channel, but now the information we can provide is evolving exponentially. See, I knew I'd find one more alliteration in there somewhere. So what can you really expect from the channel now? Well, for starters, we'll have much better footage to show examples of certain mechanics or cards, as I can use the crazy backlog of footage I've been recording while in the beta, as well as any new games I get to play, recording with you guys. In terms of new content, you can bet your bottom dollar that we'll be bringing you some sweet deck guides too. Now, every Artifact content creator worth their salt will do this, but again, we are a community-centric channel, so I will largely be focusing on the general player base, bringing you more ways to make your deck for less, and focusing on the meta for the normal/competitive player rather than that of the pro scene. That isn't to say, however, that the old content will be put aside for this. If you're in the beta, then an exciting new opportunity is coming for a series that is already on the channel. Hindsight was never intended to be a pro VOD review series. I want to take games sent in by the community itself and provide some commentary on those games and maybe point out the good, the bad, and the ugly of your plays, hopefully allowing you, and everyone else out there, to learn a thing or two along the way. This raw, doing it live sort of commentary felt forced when I was looking at pro VODs, but now you guys can send in your game clips, and we can all rejoice in my bad commentary of your even worse plays. If you want to send a game in to us, there's a very simple format I would like you to follow. Send your email in to hindsight@theartificersguild.com and make the title of your email the name of your 5 heroes, then the name of their 5 heroes. Example on the screen for you now. Then in the body of your email, make sure to let me know why I should pick your game for a video. For example, list something that you think you should work on. In my case, that would be I impulsively play cards without considering better options, and I'd like some advice on how I could better manage that. Finally, can you make sure that the video quality is at least 720p, and I will be prioritising YouTube video links over anything else, so try and send me those if at all possible. I can't wait to bring you guys into the Hindsight series to be blown away by the creativity of your plays, and hopefully get to provide some advice along the way. Of course, the channel will still be covering any news that comes out to make sure you guys are fully up to date with all things Artifact. And naturally, I'll be finishing up on all of the hero previews too. They might take a little bit of a backseat while the craziness that is Artifact's launch happens, but I will endeavour to get one out to you guys each week wherever possible. If there is a particular hero you've been waiting for me to cover, make sure to let me know in the comments. I'm happy to cover any of the heroes, especially now I've had some time playing them, and I can get footage of the hero itself in action for the background of those videos. I assume Drow will be quite a popular one, but she's been covered to death everywhere else on the web, so I've been trying to avoid jumping on that Drow train. But if that's what the people want, that is what the people shall get. So what about this NDA drop party, eh? What will Divok be doing with his time? Well, other than frantically trying to release the bits of content I've been hoarding for you, I don't plan on doing any streams just yet. If streaming is what you folks want in the future, then that can certainly be on the cards. However, for now, I want to focus on building our awesome community here on YouTube. So, if you want to see some Artifact action live in the flesh this weekend, and possibly hang out with me at the same time, head over to the BTS Artifact Twitch channel. It's the very same one that streamed the tournament last weekend, and this weekend they're doing a launch party. I even heard rumours of bathrobes, but no promises. I'll pin and comment with a link to their stream, so head over there for Artifact and shenanigans. Not necessarily in that order, and I'll be lurking in there myself most of the weekend. Folks, I've been waiting so long to bring you in closer to Artifact, and that time is upon us. As always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoy the content, feel free to like and subscribe as it really helps the channel out. I've been Divok of the Artificers Guild, and I will see you next time.